Welcome to the Friendly Moms Club podcast with Jen and Karlee. We're the new mom friends you didn't know you needed.
We are creating a safe space to bring moms together, lighten the heaviness, and find joy in the everyday moments. Together, we will share our own experiences of being new moms while navigating the topics we wish more people talked about.
Join us every Monday to hear us skip the small talk and dive right into the uncomfortable. Happy Mom Day, Jen.
Happy Mom Day, Karlee.
Now, are you going to sing or am I going to sing?
It's a beautiful day. I don't think I'm as good as you. I can't get
the trill.
I don't know. You got like a thing.
It's a beautiful day.
That was extra.
Jen is looking at me with disgust.
I'm not sure we just...
I'm keeping that in there, guys.
She has had multiple coffees today, and I'm on my first one. So maybe that's the difference between us.
I'm actually on my third coffee, and Jen brought us coffee crack, which I don't know if we've ever talked about coffee crack before.
I don't know, but it's delicious.
Oh, it's like the coffee creamers, like the International Delight, Silk has one. Any of them that are like sugar and flavored and delicious.
Yeah.
Coffee crack.
Like they're not good for you. We're not trying to be healthy here. This is just like
good for the soul.
Delicious coffee. Like, oh, it's just, yeah, it's good.
Really good for the soul. And then I also have some emotional support nuts. They're like can you read the label?
They're honey roasted nut mix.
From Costco. And they're like food crack. Yeah, delicious. They're like emotional support. You know when you're like a little bit hungry, but you don't want to eat like a meal, but you need something that's not just
a handful of nuts. It's good protein, filling you up. It's good. A
little bit of fat, a little bit of fiber, and then these ones have a little sugar to just add to the la 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 that I'm feeling today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, too much coffee.
There's not enough coffee. Not enough coffee for me. Too much for her. So this will be great.
It's gonna be good. We're gonna be jazzed. Today we are talking about. Actually, is there anything else you want to catch up on? Jen is officially 24 weeks. Yoo-hoo. Pregnant.
I'm ready.
24 weeks pregnant.
I'm ready to be done. But, alas, I got a little ways to go still.
You do? Hopefully the more enjoyable third, or I guess in pregnancy we call it trimester, coming on up soon.
Says the labor and delivery nurse.
Yeah.
Are you in your third trimester?
Are you in your third quarter?
Today, we are going to be talking about our most used baby items for 6 to 12 months. So in a previous episode, we did 0 to 6 months, and now we're just going to do the next section, the next phase.
And important to note, we had our babies in September and October. So for 6 to 12 months, it was like spring, summer.
Yes.
A little smidgen of fall. So some of these items are specific to that.
Yes.
A few. But then some of them are also just to kind of get your brain thinking, like these are things we may need. We're going to highlight like our absolute must-haves, things that we were like, we could not live without. And then we'll highlight a couple like nice to haves.
Yes. And like kind of lifestyle choices.
Definitely.
Like Karlee went on more trips this summer. So she has some like travel things that were super helpful, whereas we didn't go away anywhere. So like, I don't know. I never used any of these things. So depending on if you want to travel a lot, if you're going to go out to eat a lot, if you're going to, some of these things are more specific for lifestyle. So we'll get into the general stuff and then we'll get into the more specific ones. But
yeah, let's start with feeding. Before we get into the actual things, we need to just say that puffs are life.
Game changers.
I literally wrote on our outline, puffs are life, because I remember, I think you were the first one to start giving like mums and puffs. And at first I was like, I wasn't against them, but I was like, like those look fun, but I didn't understand they had an actual purpose. And then when Henry kind of got into his like 6 month, not like fussy phase, but kind of like I need more stimulation kind of phase, I realized puffs are a toy. They are a delicious treat. They are a babysitter. They are emotional support.
They're good for car rides. If you're trying to work out, you just sprinkle some puffs in front of them and you can sit and play and eat their puffs.
You can cook dinner. And then you can put them in fun containers that they have to like get them out themselves. I have one that has like a little abacus on top. So he plays with the abacus. And then when he gets mad at that, I take the lid off and then he eats the puffs. Puffs are important. Puffs, mums, whatever your soft baby snack of choice are. And you can even get puffs that are fortified with iron too. So like I feel like this is a multivitamin and a snack and a toy. So just gonna start off by saying that if you don't think there's a purpose to puffs, you are wrong.
And you might have to change your mind on that one.
Yeah, I thought they were just like some stupid baby snack, but they're not. They're important. They are life. We should get tattoos that say that.
Okay, but the first actual baby item that everyone needs to have is a good high chair for this phase. And when we talk about a good high chair, really what we mean is wipeability, easy to clean. And because they're just so messy.
What you really mean is the IKEA high chair.
That's what I really mean. But some of the other ones are great. Like if you want to spend lots of money for easy to clean high chair, like all the power to you if one gets a hand-me-down. But we had one that was a hand-me-down to us, but it was all fabric. The whole back and bottom was fabric, and there the straps. There's like all these straps, and it wasn't easy to clean. And if you're going to do baby-led weaning, especially, even purees get messy.
Purees are almost
but baby-led
messier.
Weaning especially is just so messy. Like things get everywhere, and if you're constantly having to clean the fabric, it's just a lot of extra work in your life that you don't need at this point in your life. Like it's just
agreed. You don't need it.
It's just more laundry that you don't need to do.
Yeah.
And the IKEA high chair is $30. You can find it on Marketplace for even less, or like a used site.
Okay, we got a cat situation.
Oh no. Okay, go. Okay, so you can find it like at a used site, Marketplace, for even cheaper than that, but $30 brand new. And you can even like hose it off. You can put it outside and hose it off, put it in your shower, rinse it off, like use wipes, use cloths. It's all wipeable.
You can take the legs off and put it in your dishwasher, I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, easy peasy.
It's easy if you want to bring somewhere because you can take the legs off. So it's literally you just pop the legs out and you can put it in your car, trunk, whatever.
Definitely. And you can get lots of accessories to make it cute. And you can also add a foot plate in for safety, because one of the main things with high chairs that we learned when we went to our baby-led weaning talk is that for a while, the recommendation was to start purees and like pablum baby food at 4 months. So the high chairs had to support babies that couldn't sit up on their own yet. So they were all like leaning back. And imagine trying to eat a meal like leaning back in a like soft chair but that doesn't have a footrest. And that's what a lot of the high chairs actually, like that's how they position the babies. So an important thing with the IKEA high chair is that it's actually like ergonomically made to encourage proper feeding and safe eating if you add that foot plate in.
And there's the pillow, like
the pillow
that you can blow up to like different, you can blow it up a lot, like fully.
For more support.
When they're smaller, so it gives them more support in the seat. And then as they get bigger, you can like deflate it more and more, and then you can just remove it. And then you can do that, and you can get a cover for that if you want. We did buy one, but we hardly used it. Jordan sat really well, and it wasn't an issue.
We used it because Henry was he's quite petite. So he needed, the IKEA high chair just can be like a little bit wide for smaller babies. So he needed a little bit more support just to stay snug. He could sit on his own, but so important to know.
But just like so inexpensive for what you need. And if you want a fancy one for later on when they know how to eat and like they're not going to get the thing dirty and you're not going to have to wash it every day. Good, like cool, good on you. But for especially in this beginning phase, like just the IKEA one is so good, and it's so inexpensive. You can't beat it.
And it's a good one to have at grandparents' houses. And
I know I'm actually looking to get one for my sister's house just because
then you don't have to bring
even
your
if we go there once every 2 weeks, it still is just helpful to have there. And there's $10 or $15 on Marketplace. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to buy one. We'll keep it in their garage, and it's just easier to have there. So
definitely. There are a lot of little like accessories you can put on the high chair as well. So I don't know, we talked about this in the baby-led weaning one. You can get like a silicone cover. You can get the cushion and the foot plate, like we said. You can also get like suction plates that stick to the high chair. And some babies really like cutlery. So like Henry loves cutlery. Jordan does not like cutlery. She's a hand bomber. Then there are little like fun little spoons you can get that are flat, that are just like easier for the new babies to eat. But none of that is essential. You could literally just get the IKEA high chair, put your baby in it,
plop all the food on it,
and put food on it, and you are good to go. But if you like accessories, if you want things that maybe make it easier, you can add all of those things in. But something you do need is something for them to drink water out of. We both loved the Munchkin 360. The straw cup. The weighted straw cup. We did not like the 360 cup. But yeah, we like the Munchkin straw cup.
Jordan does use the 360 cup by them, which is another common one that babies use. But some can figure it out, some can't. But the straw cup, I think, is pretty universal that all babies tend to like. And the weighted straw makes it really easy for them to drink from any position so that the straw stays down, so they don't have to like have it at a good angle, which is nice.
And then it's got handles, and the straw is really soft and flexible because they like to chew on them. Very easy to use and like pretty easy to clean. Like if you're cleaning it with milk every day, like if it had milk in it, it's like a little bit of a tiresome task, but it's just so user friendly that.
And for 6 to 12 months, it's probably just going to be water in there anyways.
That's true.
So then it cleans easily.
And if your baby is learning to use straw cups, look up on YouTube different ways that you can teach them to use straw cups.
Yes.
We put a little bit of, I can't remember, maybe like yogurt or puree or something on the tip, and then somehow that teaches them to drink it, and it worked. Yeah. And we also started with open cups early on, just like little silicone cups that we would help tilt into his mouth. But then he would get so excited about water and just like grab it, and it was but it was good practice.
We haven't mastered open cups yet. We're working on it.
Yeah, we definitely have not mastered it.
Yeah,
we just something we use. But the 360, oh my goodness,
the straw cup,
the Munchkin straw cup, we love.
Another thing we used all the time was silicone muffin trays, and Karlee ordered them from Amazon. It came in a 4-pack. We split it because it's 24. It makes 24 mini muffins, and there's 4 of them
per tray, right?
Per tray. So we each got 2, and I've used it so many times. They're so easy to make, like mini muffins. There's all these blender muffin recipes. So you just literally throw everything in the blender, you pour it in, you bake it, and you can make them super healthy. You can just kind of use whatever ingredients you have: eggs, oats, milk, bananas, and you can pumpkin puree.
Savory. You can do sweet muffins.
Yeah, you can do pancake egg muffins, egg ones. Yeah.
And they're so easy to clean. I don't know if you've ever had like a argument with your muffin tray when everything gets stuck because you don't use liners and you're like, hey, it'll be fine. I made egg muffin thingies for me, and they got so stuck that I actually was like, I'm throwing these tins out. I'm getting rid of them, and I'm buying some mini muffin trays that are silicone because they drive me. Yeah.
And they're just easy to pop out too. So they're easy to get them out of too. And then easy to clean. And the mini muffin size is perfect for this age when they start eating. And like, I just throw them in a bag in my purse. I bring them, like, bring them on the go in the stroller. Like, we bring them all everywhere.
I'm going to make some for Halloween at Henry's daycare. They're doing a little potluck. So I'm going to make some I think I'm going to do like little pumpkin muffins. And then I'm going to try to get creative. We'll see. And put on a little bit of like either like white chocolate or icing on the top in like a spider web shape.
Oh, that would be cool.
We'll see. We'll report back. They might just be plain pumpkin muffins.
I think that's mostly it. Again, it's preference. Like depending on the feeding style, if you're going to use purees, if you're going to use baby-led weaning, like what type of style you're going to do. Because if you're also going to use a lot of pouches, they have these pouch tips so that no matter how much they press on the pouch, it doesn't overflow. So they're super helpful from Amazon. Right? Yeah, they actually have to like suck, and then it'll allow it to go up. So if they're just sitting in their car seat, and for example, and they just
or stroller,
or they throw it on the ground or whatever, you're not going to get pouch everywhere. So that was also helpful. Some babies love it though, and they use pouches. Other babies don't really use a lot of pouches, reusable pouches. So there's just so much depending on what you want. So we can't really get into too many specifics because it just depends on what route you're going to go with feeding.
We didn't use the tips and the reusable pouches a ton. I'm using the reusable pouches more now that he's in daycare, but we do have friends who use them like almost every day. Use them quite often. They're like a nice hack. So like Jen said, just depends on how you're feeding, what you're feeding, if you're feeding on the go, what your jam is.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say the high chair, the straw cup, and then the muffin tins, or like the big broad. We use them all the time. We really needed them and used them and
definitely
loved them.
And pro tip about the muffin liners, I never really did not yogurt. We do yogurt every day. I didn't really do oatmeal with Henry because I gave it once and it was such a mess that I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't have the patience for this. He wasn't like absolutely crazy about it, and he would smear it everywhere. So if I took what I would put in a bowl of yogurt and I baked them into the muffin cups, then you have these beautifully portioned and portable snacks that aren't super messy.
You mean oatmeal, not yogurt, but yes.
Oh my goodness, words. Yes,
your
oatmeal.
Brain is just mixing up.
My brain is struggling today. Except if you put blueberries in them trying to be fun, then they become messy. So just stick with banana.
Well, blueberries are, but
they're good. Yeah. So pro tip, if you hate giving infant cereal or yogurt, oatmeal, bake it.
Yeah.
And then be happy. And then you have more time to not wix your merds. Get it? That one was on purpose.
I know, but it really threw me off. Okay. So next, moving on to sleep. So again, a lot of the stuff for this one is similar to the 0 to 6 months. So if you didn't listen to it, go back and listen to that episode. There's lots of good stuff in there. But again, in this 6 to 12 months, we both use the Wolino sleep sacks.
Every night.
We use ours at daycare now. So even like, past 12 months, we're still using it. It's good. The ones we have are good for until 24 months. But 2 to 24 months. It's a huge range. You don't have to buy them in all these different sizes and all these different togs. They're so soft and comfy. Like they're
They're so, I want one.
I know.
They seem quite nice. What I love most about it is that it's 2 to 24 months and it works for every like year round, every fabric. Season. Yeah. It just makes it, so comfy. You don't have to worry about temperature. You don't have to worry about size. You have it. You don't have to worry about buying new ones. And are they outgrowing it? Like we'd be on our second round of sleep sacks now that they're over 12 months because they're kind of both transitioning to bigger clothes right now.
So it's not third because there's like 0 to 3 months. The ones we were in were 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 12. So we'd be on like the fourth round.
That's true, actually.
And they're expensive.
They're very expensive. So the Wellino is more expensive, but it's like universal and long lasting. And you don't need more than one. We do because we're silly. But we have 3 that we rotate between daycare and then 2 at home. So that one can kind of always be in the wash while one's at daycare and one's at home. Yeah. And that's how we've found it's just been easiest for us. But we just waited till there were sales. Yeah. I'm really terrible at paying full price for anything. It just like hurts your soul.
Hurts my soul. And I'm Dutch. And if you're Dutch or, Dutch people, we like a good deal. And so I just wait for sales, and I've always gotten them on sales. People have gotten them for free on Marketplace, though. Oh, yeah. Or really inexpensive on, mom sites giving them away. So you can keep an eye out for that, but we love them.
That's true. Yeah. And under the Wellino sleep sack, I don't know. Do you use these? You did in the summer. I absolutely loved the Belanger bamboo sleepers. They are so comfy. Every single road trip we took this summer, we had 3 of them, and it was the first thing I packed because we would use them for the car rides because they are comfy for them to sleep in. We use them for every night sleep, and most of the time I'd bring cute daytime outfits, and then Henry would just stay in the sleeper for most of the day because they're cute, they're comfortable. They have the little soft, the little fold over foot and handcuffs depending on the age. And then that way, if they're like out and about and you want them to be, feeling the grass in their toes, you just pull the cuff up. If you want their toes to be warm, you pull it down. Loved them.
I know. And they're just so comfortable.
He's starting to grow out of the 6 to 12 ones now. We can still squeeze them in. We have some in the 12 to 18. The lemons, they're very cute, but they just released a lot of their fall patterns, and I imagine they're gonna have Christmas ones come out soon.
I know.
And, they're so cute.
All the seasoned one gets me. I want all of the seasons, but then I don't know the sizes, and you have to do some math. And anyways, Belanger sleepers, bamboo sleepers, fantastic.
And they're locally made in Vancouver. It's a female-owned business, and you can also use the code The Friendly Moms Club 15 for 15% off. Yeah. And they're also affordable. Yeah. They're kind of like a Kite Baby dupe. So they're a little bit more affordable, and they're local, female owned, and you can have a discount code. So
I know. Win.
Win. Go get yourself some of the cute ones and then send us pictures because I want them, but I've put myself on a shopping pause. Devastating.
Another thing we used, I think I started using them a bit before you guys, but were nighttime diapers. So they're just more absorbent. And so depending on where you are in your sleep and how often they're getting up and you're feeding and whatnot, it does change. It was starting to really piss Jordan off when we had to change her diaper in the middle of the night. Like feeding was one thing, but actually having to change her diaper was just
strip them down.
It was just not worth the fight at night anymore. And so someone was like, "Oh, haven't you not tried nighttime diapers?" I was like,
I never even thought of it.
And so then I went and ordered them from Amazon. And I mean, we're using the Huggies, but that was just because they were the ones that were cheaper on Amazon. We've used Huggies and the Pampers ones. I mean, I'm not here to say any specific brand is great, but the nighttime ones are actually very helpful because then you can still feed, but you don't have to get them naked. Really anger them in the middle of the night.
They also don't have to sleep through the night to use the nighttime diapers. If they're sleeping through the night, they're helpful because then that way their diaper has more capacity for the pee. Yes. But even if they're getting up to feed, I've heard moms say that as soon as their babies stop pooping throughout the night, we waited a little bit longer. He was still getting up for a feed in the middle of the night, and we would change his diaper. Even though we probably didn't need to, but in my head, I was like, well, maybe that'll make him sleep longer.
If he has a dry diaper.
If he has a dry diaper, I don't think it works.
You go through all the
Exactly. And then one day I was like, okay, why am I not just using the night diapers? And then especially when he started sleeping through the night, they were very helpful. And now he does not sleep through the night, but he still wears his night diapers.
We use night diapers, and it's not a guarantee if Jordan's going to sleep. She still gets up, I'd say most nights, at least once a night. But this way we don't change her diaper, and it keeps her a lot calmer when we do have to go in and help her and settle her or feed her or do whatever we need to do. The odd time, same thing. We'll change it if we're like, maybe this is making her. Because if we can't figure out why she's awake, The odd time we will change it still. But anyways, night diapers, I think are totally worth buying them.
Definitely.
They're
more
a bit more expensive.
Yeah, I would say like not double, but a little bit more.
You're using a lot less because you're only using one per day.
Exactly. So if you use one night diaper instead of 2 regulars, that's the same price.
The same, yeah.
And I think, well, I don't know if this is just marketing, but they're on their package, it does say that it like wicks away more of the moisture, so then it keeps them feeling drier. So if they could be more comfortable, we'll splurge for them.
Yeah, I don't know. We've really liked them.
We love, life changing. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about food, we talked about sleep. Let's talk about toys.
Toys. Okay, there's so many toys. Again, every child is different. I mean, for Henry and Jordan, Henry likes to have like less toys around and like for them to be switched up, whereas Jordan likes to like see all her toys.
Yeah.
And then she just like, she rotates herself through what she wants to play with.
Yeah,
so
she doesn't get overwhelmed by having them there, where Henry, he doesn't. It's almost like he's just like his mom. He'll like play with one and then be like, ooh, and this one. And then he'll pull them all out. And then he's just overwhelmed. And he's like, I don't know how to play with any of these toys.
Yes. So different styles about like different, how many toys you're going to have, but something that both of them used. And for a very long time, you can start it early because it helps them with sitting as well. And then it helps them with kneeling. And then it can help them with standing. And then it can help them with walking is a walker. One of those like push walkers.
The ugly plastic ones. Although I'm sure there's cute ones.
There's wooden ones you can get. There's like, I don't know. We both had like hand-me-downs ones. I had one that I gave to Karlee because I just had a second one. And I was like, here, you can, like, they are ugly. They're plastic.
They're not that bad. They're, yeah.
They are what they are. But they work great. And Jordan loves it. Like watching them walk with them when they're learning to walk is just the cutest thing. But we used it. She started by sitting. And so she was practicing her sitting with playing with. The front normally has like things that move or make sounds or lights or whatever. So we started with sitting and playing with that, and then she went to kneeling and doing that, and then like one knee up, one knee down, and then she started with like how to pull herself up on it, and then walking.
And then, well, first, even before Henry would walk with it, like as a walker, he would kind of furniture walk around it. And it's on wheels, so it's a little bit unsteady, so it kind of challenged him a little bit more than just walking on the couch. And now he loves it. He pulls it out from the corner where it is and just like walks himself around.
It's so cute to watch.
It's very
so we actually really liked the walkers. And there's one, so we didn't buy any of ours, like we just were given them hand-me-downs. If I was to go and buy one, there's one that I really like. I think it's a skip hop one.
The 4-in-1.
So it's a 4-in-1 walker. So it actually starts off that there's like a plate on the front that you can take off. So when they're doing tummy time and they're on the ground and they can't, they're just still laying there. So at quite like less than 6 months, you can put this like little plate of toys and sounds and buttons on the ground for them to play with. Then you can put it on the walker for them to sit and practice standing. Then they can walk with it. And then it can change again to be like a shopping cart, like a shopping cart type thing that they can put things in when they walk. Fun. And then they can play with it like that. So it has so many different uses. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like if at least if you're going to buy one, for it to have several uses makes it worth more in my mind.
Definitely. And it's nice that one starts with them being young.
Yeah, you can use it at quite a young age. So you can just buy it and use it for like probably almost a year. They'd still be using it.
And Skip Hop is good with like the multifunctional things. Yes. We both have the Skip Hop exerciser to play table. So it's a 3-in-1. So maybe that's their thing.
I just really like that. If I'm going to buy something and spend money for it to have multiple uses, just
also like money wise,
take my money, just take it. I'll just buy all your products.
Storage wise, and the Skip Hop exerciser to play table. Like I said, it's a 3-in-1. First, we talked about it in our 0 to 6 month video. You just plunk them in. And then I think last video you were like, oh, we're not using it a ton right now. Yes. But now
and then I went to clean it one day and I was just like, this turns into a table. If she's not like loving the exerciser thing anymore, let's do that. So we turned it into the table, but left the toys on the outside. So then she would just like walk around and play with the toys still. At the end of the day, we'd put her toys on the table. She liked putting things on the table, taking it off.
Oh, that's fun.
We put some puffs on the table, and then she would like go to her table and then grab a puff and eat it. And then we actually, for her birthday, my sister got her the chairs that go with it because they don't come with the exerciser. You have to buy them separately. And she loves the chairs. Like she loves trying to figure out how to sit on them. They're a little bit big, so they can't just walk over and plop. So they have to like kind of climb and maneuver. And so anyway, she's really, really loving that. And so we'll like plop her down and then put a stuffed animal on the second one.
Oh, fun.
And then they like sit at the table together and they play with their toys. And we've been loving it again.
They're like bulky in a good way, that they're like a little bit wider.
Yes.
So they, even when they get to like climbing on them, they're quite sturdy. And then they're low to the ground, that if they do fall, they're low to the ground, and they got to learn how to fall.
But it's all good. Like it's, we've been really loving it. So
those were like the two bigger toys that we both liked and still use to this day. Henry's absolute favorite toy from like 5-6 months until now, he still uses them every day, are like a random set of stacking cups. So there's like, every brand has them. They come in all colors, all shapes. You can get them in hard plastic and silicone. But he has these like really bright colored cups that you can either like put into each other, like nesting cups. You can turn them around and stack them. He loves them. When he was learning to crawl, he would like smack it, trying to grab it, and it would go flying across the hardwood, and then he would crawl after it, and then he would smack it again. Absolutely love them. And then we put them in the bath, and they have little holes in the bottom, so it's kind of like a strainer, like the water coming out. Absolutely obsessed. He uses them every day. Right now, his new thing is to stack them on the side of the bathtub, and then he either throws them at us or fills them with water and throws it at us.
And Jordan has them in the silicone version,
and
but
she
same
likes
thing.
them, right?
Like absolutely adores them. We've put them in the bath. We have them in the car for car rides. She brings them everywhere. She just carries them around the house. We stack them, knock them down.
They're fun.
Put them together. Like same thing.
Puffs in them, pull them out.
Yeah. We do little puffs in them, snacks. Like, yeah. She also has loved them.
They love them. I don't know what Henry also loves, just like any cup, like measuring cups. He's obsessed with them. But we got these as a baby shower gift. And at first I was like, oh, that's fun. I didn't realize that they would become like 100% his favorite toy, use all day, every day, multifunctional. Every time we went on a trip, we brought them.
And yours have numbers on top. So eventually,
oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure yours have numbers on all of them. So like then he could count like, oh, it actually goes 1, 2, 3. Like, next stage, you can keep using them.
And Jeff used them to teach him about colors. They're great. And then other toys, just a general that we've both loved, are the Love Every toys.
Yes.
So
we talked about these in the 0 to 6 months, because you can get boxes and they're all based on ages. So we talked about this for them too, but like they're just such good quality toys, and they're wooden, and they're based on what they're like developmentally learning at that age, which is really cool.
Yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're actually very well researched, and they're based on like the Montessori principles. But I get it, because they actually, like, Henry will sit there and play with them independently, and they're like multifunctional, and there's so many different things you can do with them, and they're great quality. And
let's face it, at 6 to 12 months, if you can get them to sit and play independently,
you're winning.
That is like life goals. Like because once they start moving, life gets so chaotic.
So
like
hectic.
You are so excited for them to move, and then it just gets crazy. So if they can actually sit and play independently, it's worth it.
And I think, do we have a discount code for them?
I don't know. We're going to have to look it up. Yeah. We'll look it up and we'll put it in below.
In the link.
We'll let you know if we have one.
Yeah. Then save a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are it. Henry loved the ball drop. That's been his favorite.
Yep.
And
Jordan liked the pincher puzzle that has to do with it's a little wood, and it has to do with the pincher grip for them to practice it. And they take the puzzle and then they actually have to put it back in the circle. And so she loves that one. That's probably her favorite one recently. Yeah.
So that's that. So after 6 months, well, not even after 6 months, around that time, you may be transitioning from a countertop bath to the actual bathtub, or maybe before then you had the Angel Care bath insert or something like that. That's what we had. And then we got rid of that, and he just started sitting in the bath. So whatever your bath time transition is, we both 100% agree that you need like a sticky bath mat, like a non-slip mat.
Some baths I think have it. Like if you get those like bath inserts, they have like texture on the bottom, but most baths don't.
I do not know. Ours are just very slippery.
They're so slippery, and then they can fall and hurt themselves. It's actually dangerous, I think.
And when they're learning to sit, it's really easy for them to like slip back. Also, then when they're learning to crawl and they're like putting their weight forward, and then when they're learning to stand, like they need something in the bath, because also water's dangerous. So
like tubs are hard, and like then if they fall on the faucet too, it's just
faucet cover too.
Yes,
we don't have an actual one. We don't either. We have a pool noodle that I like ripped the edge off, and I just put it over top of the faucet. But Henry's favorite thing is to take that off and give it to me, and then stand up and bonk his head. He's did it twice this week.
So the sticky bath mat, like I ordered mine from Amazon. You can get them at Walmart or Amazon, whatever. Like, they're not super expensive, but I think it's definitely worth the purchase.
Yeah. And make sure you clean it because they get really slimy.
Honestly,
they get very yucky.
It's one of my least favorite things to do is clean the bath. But we do it after dinner time. So sometimes she'll have a spaghetti sauce all over her. And then I'll see like red stains on the side of the tub. And I'm just like, it's my least favorite thing to do. But
yeah, it's not very
fun.
And
also, just a funny side story. I was telling Karlee last night that Jordan started pooping in the bath. She like, I don't know if she just enjoys the water on her bum or whatever, if it helps relax and move things along.
Makes her feel good.
But it's not diarrhea, thank goodness. But like, now bath time's over because you're pooped in the poop water. So we're like,
coiler.
All of a sudden we'll have to take all the toys out because we don't want the toys all like grossed out by poop. And then you have to clean those. And like, it's just, So the bath time's been super fun.
Good times with poops. I mean, everyone loves a good poop, but
yeah,
maybe not in the bath.
I know. But speaking of bath and safety in the bath is just safety in general. So again, when they start moving at the 6 to 12 months, you need to think about how to baby-proof your house.
Definitely.
Depending on what your house layout is like.
It could be a lot.
It can be very overwhelming. Like, I found it very overwhelming to be like, how the heck do I make this safe? Like, you almost have to get on your hands and knees and be like, what can I get into?
You want to try and baby-proof as well before they start moving.
Yes.
So that they don't start moving and all of a sudden you're panicking and trying to set stuff up. So just like a good rule of thumb is like by 6 months if your baby's not crawling, which I feel like that's early, right? 6 months to crawl.
Yeah, that's early.
Yeah. So at 6 months, just like get the baby gates, put them up, practice using them, practice actually closing them. Because that was a big one for me. I'd always leave it open. And then I was like, wait a second, I actually have to close this now that he's crawling. The outlet covers, there's lots of different ones. There's like the little like little white things you just plink in there. Or you can get the like big boxes that actually cover any cords that are actually plugged in. Cabinet locks. We put a cabinet lock on super early, only because we always have babies here. Well, we did before work and daycare. And another big one that we learned in the baby CPR class, what my husband learned, is furniture anchors. Because that is one of the most, like, I'm just going to say devastating accidents that can happen because of the outcomes. And I'm pretty sure they said in the class that it's like usually the one that you don't get a redo. You don't get a redo.
You don't get a, ouch, I hurt my hand in the cabinet that closed on it. It's devastating, as Karlee said. So you don't get to redo that one. And I believe it's everything over 3 feet tall. It's recommended to be anchored to the wall is what the like rule of thumb is. So we went and did that. And then we also did everything in her room that was over 3 feet, which is really just her dresser, because she started opening those drawers pretty quick. And so we didn't do that. We didn't, lock the drawers. We just anchored it to the wall because it's just her clothes in there and we let her open it and whatever.
It's good for learning.
But they can climb on those things and then they tilt. It is scary. So we just ordered them from Amazon again, but it's an important one.
And some furniture actually comes with anchors. And I remember like IKEA stuff being like, this is stupid. I'm not going to anchor this.
Now I get it. Why do I need this?
Yeah. Now I get it.
Yes. You have them for your island in your kitchen, but the corner covers, because the island can be pretty sharp. So for like tables, we got the corner covers. I mean, same, but it's not a corner, but for our fireplace, what do you call that thing?
Edge. On
the bottom?
Like the mantle type thing.
But the bottom mantle.
Yeah.
What is that called? You know, you normally have like a little like seat or something, and the fireplace is on top of it, and then a mantle.
I don't know.
You could. I'm modeling it with my hand, but it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, we covered the edge of that so that it wasn't sharp.
Yeah. Makes sense.
On one of our bookshelves, we covered some of the edges on there with the same thing. Like, it's like a foam that you can cover the edges and stuff.
What the heck are we going to do with Christmas decorations?
Honestly, the Christmas tree is going to be hard.
I don't even know if we're going to do a tree this year, because that just sounds like...
I know. And then the needles, they're going to want to eat everything. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just decorate one of my plants. Maybe my money tree, will decorate that as a Christmas tree this year.
Other safety things, stoves. So we just don't have access to our kitchen. Like, we've gated off the kitchen and we just don't let her in there because that was easier for us. The way our house layout was, it was easy For some houses, that's just really, really hard to do. And so they're going to have access. So then you have to think about things like the stove. And so if you have a gas stove, the knobs actually can come off, most of them. So they say for safety to keep the knobs off. And then when you want to use it, you put the knob on and you turn it on. And that way they can't go and just turn on the gas.
You can also...
The bottom drawers, they have locks for.
You can also lock the actual, like some of the stoves have the buttons on the front. Not the buttons, like the pad, the electric pin pad, and you can actually child lock that. Same with your dishwasher. All of those have like a locking function on it.
And you can sometimes lock the door so they can't open the door, because a lot of times they'll come and like want to open that.
Of course, get fun with that.
So it just depends on the layout of your house. Like you just want to make sure you go through and really think about child safety stuff. So that is
Before
a must.
You need it.
That is a must. But it does depend on your house needs, what exact safety stuff you're going to need.
And we actually we have open concept, so we put a retractable baby gate between our living room and our kitchen. That way, when I want to keep him out of the kitchen, usually just when I'm using the oven or if I'm in there busy and he's playing, I'll close it so he can't go in. Also, it separates him from the cat food. And that's not something I really considered because it's not really a place that I need a gate like all the time, but it is nice to have that to keep him out when I want him out.
As opposed to like stacking chairs there and stuff that he could still
we did
get
pillows and okay, so let's talk a little bit about travel. So we said that some of the items we have are like kind of specific to our lifestyle and the season we are in. So Henry was 6 months, well, he was like 9 to 11 months during summer, so we went on a couple trips. And one thing that we used a lot this summer for both travel and like just like visits to friends' houses and restaurants are the travel high chairs. Jen and I both have one. We have slightly different ones. They both kind of have their pros and cons. Yeah. But they're both very useful. I have the clip-on one that goes actually onto the table. And Jen has the one that looks like a mini camping chair with a tray on it. Yeah. I think maybe that one is more like long-term because you can use it in restaurants on chairs and strap it on. Yeah. You can use it when you're outdoors. Like we actually borrowed it when we went on a beach vacation, and we would put Henry in that on the beach so that
it does look like a beach chair. Yeah. Yeah. It's a cute little chair.
We'd eat his breakfast there in his little travel high chair, and then you can also use it as a booster seat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe that one is a little bit more versatile long term.
Yeah, the thing I like about the clamp on one, like it clamps onto the table that you have, we borrowed it for when we went away. Actually, see this, mom friends, you exchange things, so you actually clamp it onto the table so they're at the table height
with you.
You find that some high chairs, and depending on like the height of the chair, then they're like awkwardly below it or far away from the table. And so I like that this one clamps on. And then we actually used, which is one of the other things, again, it's specific, but we used a silicone placemat, like travel placemats. So then you can put that on and then clamp it on. And that way you don't have to worry about the table. If it's dirty, if it's on a picnic table or friend's house, you don't want to get their table dirty. You can just put the placemat and then clamp this chair on, and then you kind of cover your basis. Right?
And that's handy too, because some restaurant tables aren't actually like wipeable. Like if it's like an old wood, like if you're at like
just don't know.
You just don't know. And like, sure, you can wipe it if it's a plastic table, but they're not always really that wipeable.
And sometimes I just feel bad about making a mess. So if it's on if I bring the placemat and put it on there, I feel easier. But again, if you don't ever go out, you don't need it. Like, I really liked it. I bought a Munchkin. It's a 2-set, so we put one in each diaper bag we had. Perfect. And I clean them at the restaurant before we leave. I go to the bathroom. Smart. So then I can wipe it. I dry it in the bathroom, and then I stick it back in so I don't ever have to worry about it.
That's smart. Then it's always clean.
Then it's always clean and ready to go.
For travel specifically for me, things that we used for every single trip was the pack and play for Henry to sleep in. We also added in a mattress that is kind of like up to your like parental preference and discretion, like your comfortability level. So
your comfort level? Your comfortability is what you
comfortability. Your comfort. I like comfortability.
Comfort's just much more simple. I don't know if that's even a word.
It is now.
Okay.
Your comfort level.
Okay.
Some of them they're not recommended to use until they're 9 months. Some of them are 12 months. But it's just we have like a little foldable mattress that makes the pack and play way more comfortable. Maybe not officially safe sleep, but it worked for us.
Pack and plays, like
they're tragic.
How do you expect them to sleep well on them? Some of them are so just tragic. Not. I just don't understand it. So we also bought a mattress, and we don't use it a ton, but
when you do need it, it's very handy. We've lent it out to a few friends because
we have two. It's just
you need to. That was big. We also got portable blackout curtains that actually suction to the window. These were life-changing when we were in a hotel, because hotels always say they have blackout curtains and they never do. They're never actually blackout. And this helped because we like to have a really dark room for naps. We find it really helps him. But then we also went on a trip where we knew we were staying at my aunt's house, and she has like full windows in the room we were staying in. So we're like, hey, well, we can't actually like black proof, what's it called?
Blackout.
Light proof, whatever the words are, the whole space. So we actually got a little cover for the pack and play that is, it's not fully blackout. I would say it's about 80%. But you can also rent or buy things like the slumber pod, which are like tents that go over top of the pack and play.
And they normally have like a fan attachment and a monitor attachment in there too.
Oh,
they're
smart.
Quite cool. They have like two little things.
That makes sense. I mean, they're like $200-$300.
They're expensive to buy. They're cheaper to rent.
Yeah. But the one that we had isn't like fully blackout, so it's quite breathable. We would often just leave the top open, so I felt safe with that. But that one was really handy, even when we had the blackout in the hotel room on the window, because when we came in at night, we had to turn a light on and we had to brush our teeth and, get ready for bed. If he did wake up and kind of looked over, he couldn't see us because the sides of his pack and play were blacked out.
Yes, which is good, because otherwise they're just going to wake up when they see you. Yeah.
And then we also really liked using our Wise camera, which I'm pretty sure is like a security camera, but it's super small and portable, and they're also very reasonably priced. They just go over Wi-Fi. We use that as our travel monitor, because then we could pull up the video of him on either our phone or our iPad.
Yeah.
And then that way we don't have to set up like very easy to set up.
They are very affordable. We have one too. Yeah, they're great.
I actually brought like a command hook that I put on the wall in the hotel, so that it was fantastic.
It's actually a really good idea, because it's really hard to find a place to put a monitor.
Exactly.
And where the playpen's going to fit.
Exactly. It's not always. Yeah.
Hotel rooms can be tricky.
Get your Wise, get your command hook or your command strip. I just use the strip, not even the hook. And those were, and the portable sound machine. We have like the Dream Egg, or I don't know what it's called. But it's just a little round one, and we used it from 0 to 6 months, like every day. We used it in the living room when he would nap. We use it in the stroller. We use it in the car. And then we also use it when we go away overnight on trips, because then we don't have to bring his sound machine from his room. That one of the most used items from 0 to 6 and 6 to 12. We use it all the time. Yeah. Henry loves his white noise.
Yeah.
If you're going on any trips from 6 to 12, those are definitely things to consider.
Yeah.
But they're also things that you can rent when you're away. And they're also not things that you have to buy if you can borrow them from friends.
Yeah.
So
if you're not going to use them once for like 1 week summer long trip that you're going on, like see if your friends have it that you can borrow. Again, renting it from somewhere, like, you don't need to buy all these things, because it can add up. But if you like to travel, then you're going to go on multiple trips. It is worth it.
We do a lot of like weekend trips locally, so we don't fly as much. So for us, having things that are compact, that can fit in the car, that are easy to pack, that's important to us. Where something like buying or renting a slumber pod when we go away, it's not really worth it, because we go on lots of trips, but we don't really fly places, So, but whatever works for your family.
Totally lifestyle. And the last thing we wanted to mention was about like sun. And in the summer, because our babes were 6 to 12 months through the summer, we just found like finding a good sunscreen was really important. We both like the Blue Lizard brand, but if they have like sensitive skin, like you just want to look into a good baby sunscreen. And there's actually baby sunscreen. It's not normal sunscreen, an adult one you put on them. There's actual specific.
Well, actually, fun fact, the Blue Lizard one that I bought, so it's what makes a baby sunscreen is that it's not a chemical barrier. It's a mineral, like a physical sunscreen. So it's the mineral ones. And you don't want any parabens, and what's the other one? Oh, fragrance and that kind of stuff. But there are lots of adult ones that actually are the exact same as baby ones and cheaper, but you have to know kind of what to look for.
You have to know what to look for.
So I'm a sensitive little baby myself, so I often use mineral sunscreen without fragrance. So those ones actually are fine for babies, because that makes them, like, in air quotes, a baby sunscreen. But if you use like a banana boat,
a very
chemical
general,
sunscreen, like that's not recommended for young babies. My mom hack was that the Blue Lizard brand, they had a sensitive one that didn't have fragrance, and then they had the baby one. The baby one and the sensitive one, the ingredients were the exact same. And the sensitive one was $5 cheaper.
See, there you go.
So there's my mom hack. But if you don't want to do the research, just buy the one that says baby, because then you don't have to compare ingredients.
Yes. Another mom hack for the sunscreen. Well, we're talking about sunscreen and applying it.
The makeup
so
brush,
you can
yes.
buy the sticks or you can buy the cream. So whatever you want to do, but to actually like rub it in their skin. A lot of babies don't like hands on their face, but makeup brushes or sponges, like
the beauty blender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really good, and they it's almost fun for them, and you can like dab it on their face, or like they can play with the brush, and it like actually applies the sunscreen better. And like that is such a good cheap hack to have, and then just like have that in your diaper bag or wherever.
And I feel like kids, like even young kids, would like that too.
Oh yeah, it's like a fun.
Somebody rubbing things all over their face.
No, I don't like putting sunscreen on my face.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Sunscreen, and then also just sun protection in general. You need to think about, kind of regardless of your baby's age, but under 6 months, they're not really in the sun. You can keep them out, but once they start moving, they're in the sun. So we both liked the Jan and Jewel sun hats that have the adjustable clip, so it changes the size, so
the head circumference
size. And then also they have huge brims on them. They look a little silly at first, and then you realize how adorable they look in them.
But it's worth it to not have to apply sunscreen every 10 minutes and like to have to worry about it.
And then if you're going for a walk, if you're in the yard, wherever the sun is coming from, it's covering their face and shoulders mostly.
Yeah.
You can get the ones with the nice tails on them.
Yeah.
And
then also the full, like, long sleeve, long legged,
full coverage.
Like, full coverage bathing suits. And some of them have actually specifically SPF coverage in them. So there's 2 local companies, Current Tide and Honeysuckle, that create them. And they're actually really fun designs. And something that I will mention, because I never thought of this, is that you don't actually want blue bathing suits, and it's actually better to get like bright, obnoxious colors and patterns so that you can see it better in the
visibility.
Water, which I never thought of, but both these companies advertise that and they talk about it, and I was like, so they actually show pictures of like a kid in a blue bathing suit, or like a singular pattern that's like a light green or something in the pool, and then someone in one of their high vis ones, and it's night and day shocking, how much better you can see the child in their bathing suit. Like it was a safety thing I never thought of.
Never would have thought of that.
But definitely think of design, especially you being the more like the beige neutral person.
I know, no
right? You
beige.
have to get an obnoxious bathing suit, which is probably hard for you.
You know what?
Even for me, some of them I'm like,
safety.
These designs I don't like. You know,
don't love them, but
important.
Yeah.
Another thing we used all the time, this is the last thing we're going to talk about, is having like an outdoor picnic blanket that you leave in your car for just on the go. So if you go to the park, you're going to stop and have some snacks, meet up with friends, you're going to the beach, you're going wherever. I got mine at Costco. You can get them off Amazon.
But specifically a blanket that's wipeable. Like it's a mat, more of a mat.
You don't want to have like an actual like picnic blanket.
Like a fabric blanket.
Like a fabric one. But if you get one that's like a waterproof or water resistance and you can wipe it.
We brought ours on our beach vacation, and then we put Henry in Jen's travel high chair in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then he would have his breakfast there while we would sit and have our coffee. And then it got really dirty from the beach, and he ate on it all weekend.
Yeah.
He was smearing food all over it. So I brought it home, and I literally just hosed it off in our yard. Yeah. And I was like, look at this. And when I would go to the workout classes in the park, I would bring that, and then all the babies would play on it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I would use it. And especially since it's wipeable
so much
all the time.
And both of ours fold up.
Yeah.
So you like can fold it up and it goes like you have to fold it up in a specific pattern, but then it has a handle like that's on the underside of the blanket. So then you can like carry it easy with, especially when you're holding baby and all their other things. If you can just wear it on your shoulder, it's easier than having to like carry a blanket.
Exactly.
So
I think we have the same one, but probably just different years. They're both Costco.
Yeah, but they're both Costco, and we just leave ours in the car. It's like we used it so much. It's really worth having, especially in the spring, summer, fall months.
Definitely. And it folds up so small.
Yeah.
So that's that. That is 6 to 12 months. The big things that change, baby starts eating, they start moving. So you need safety things for food and ways to feed them. You need safety stuff for in your house.
Activities for them when they're moving.
Yeah. You might start traveling more. So then those are things to consider. Sleep doesn't change a ton, but
it's just a lot of like lifestyle choices that we can't say for sure everything you're going to need. But these are like the top things that we used for the age and the time of the year that our babies were. So
we'll link them down below. If
we'll
we have
link everything that we can.
Discount codes, we'll also put those in, and that's
hopefully you learned something.
Yeah. And if you have any more questions, just send us a DM because we like being your friends.
Okay. Thanks for listening. Happy Mom Day. We'll see you next week.
Bye now.